tools, products, and techniques in this video are intended for use by adult modelers. Anyone under the age of 13 should always have adult supervision when using said tools, products, and techniques.
This week on Painted Plastic.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of the Sinanju build. I have fully disassembled the mobile suit. Right? That's not it. Oh gracious, yeah. All the parts, right? 3 separators full of parts. Plus, yeah, all the little bits and bobs that I can't really put on a stick. Yeah, this is a lot of parts, but that's all right. We'll get them painted and all that stuff. But before we can do that, we got to do some seam lines. As a matter of fact, give me 1 second. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit on this. So yeah, a couple of the parts have some seams, right? I've actually already done this one and taken its seam out. I'm going to end up masking off this little gray bit here, but that's no big deal. But yeah, I want to get rid of that seam going down there. There's only a few in this kit, actually. It was really good for seams, surprisingly, with how many pieces there are. On the gun, right, I want to get rid of that seam there and this one across the top. This is for the bazooka. Yeah. Let's see. The rifle had a little seam. There was only a few here and there. One that I didn't really understand was, and I've already sealed this, just so you know. But this little end here was actually 2 pieces, and I couldn't figure out why they did it as 2 pieces. But anyway, little stuff like that. And then there was one other, oh yeah, the sleeve, right? This is actually 2 pieces. I don't know if you'll be able to, yeah, you can see that. But the way they did it, it really doesn't look bad. I think I may just fill the edges, right? But other than that, I think we can get away with that. I mean, they kind of put it right on that detail. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it kind of, I don't know. It was really, really well done. The engineering on that, because once you put it together, there's only 2 places you can really see the seam. That's just across those, whoops, just across those outer bands, like right there. I don't know if I'll be able to even get that to focus, but it's really not a very hard process. There's a few ways you can do it. A lot of people like to fill the seam with Tamiya putty, and that works. I really don't use this to like fill the seams here. I would use this if I'm like modifying a part, like I cut something off and there's an empty space, because you know it's really for kind of larger spaces, not really large spaces, but yeah, I don't really use this for seam filling. The way I do it is with just regular old Tamiya Extra-Thin Cement, right? Since this is a welding cement, it'll melt the plastic a bit. So what I will do is just kind of put that together to where it's almost touching, right? A small gap all the way down. Then I'll take my extra thin and just run that down the gap. Now I am going to be careful around these little mold lines, because I don't want to fill those up with glue. And don't forget to do both sides. I'm almost out of glue. Alright, that should probably be good. And then we're just going to squeeze it together, and hopefully a little blob will squeeze out. And I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but we've got the slightest little blob, right? Can you see that? What that is, and if we look on the other side, you can see we got it on the other side too. So when we squeeze this together, we actually get plastic squeezing out of the gap, right? So we know that that is completely filled. Now it's just a matter of letting this cure and then sanding down, that little blob of plastic. And then it'll look like this one where it's just solid. So yeah, we will set this to the side, let it dry. Hang on. Gotta steal a stick from something else. Yep, just set that to the side, let it dry. Let's do one more. We will do, you know what, let's do these little pauldrons. I don't know if I made it very clear, but the only place I'm really concerned with is sort of right here. I don't know if I'm even showing that to you. Just sort of right in this area, right? You can see where that seam opens up right there. I don't know. See, you probably won't see it on this black piece, but yeah, everywhere else, I think it'll be okay. I'm just going to put a dab right on that end. And the other side. Oops. I've got butterfingers tonight. So now we'll squeeze it together. And again, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you get a little blob that squeezes out, which is good. That's what we want. Right? And we'll just have some cleanup to do. Right? Just like that. All right. Be right back. All right, everybody. So it's been about 2 days, and the glue is good and dry. Time to knock this thing down a little bit. Gonna start with just a coarse grit. So I think that's the initial sand. Time to bump down to medium grit. And lastly, go down to a fine grit. The last thing I want to do is I usually take my razor blade for this. There are these tiny little, I don't know if you can even see it, but these little panel lines, right? And sometimes they can get filled in with glue. So I just take the very corner of my blade and sort of put it in the line and drag it through. And that just clears anything that might be in that little channel. Right, just like that. All right, I think that is at least primer ready. You'll notice I didn't sand down here. The reason for that is there'll be a little cap that goes on the end, so it doesn't really matter what this looks like. But yeah, we'll get some primer on this. Actually, I've got a few more that I need to clean up, and then we'll move over to the paint booth. But I think I'm going to save that for the next episode. Just sort of leave this one at seam lines, and we will pick up getting all these things primed and maybe even base coated for some of them. So as always, thanks for hanging out. Hope you found this interesting. And we will see you on episode 3 over in the paint booth. Bye bye.